Hi, friends. Thank you for joining us on Fitness Friday. This is a ministry out of Christ Episcopal Church. My name is Sunil Chandy. I'm the rector and priest at Christ Episcopal Church, and thank you for being with us. Today, we are continuing our conversation with about fitness and mental health, and we have Sharon Younkin, our continuing guest on Food for Thought and also Fitness Friday. And today she is going to talk to us about the importance of sleep. And so, Dave, please bring Sharon on board.
Father Sunil.
Namaste. Sharon, how are you?
I'm doing well. So glad to be here on Fitness Friday. I'm going to call it Fuchsia Fitness Friday.
All right.
And yes. So talking about sleep. Yes. So sleep hygiene, believe it or not, that's a term. Sleep hygiene. Very important in terms of emotional well-being. Sleep is one of the most important mood regulators. And so we want to try to get an amount of sleep that you want to try to get an amount of sleep that feels good, usually between 7 to 9 hours. You got to be careful. You don't want to sleep too much or sleep too little. Sometimes when people are sleeping a lot, that's a symptom of depression, and it can feed into kind of behaviors that are unhelpful for mood. Not enough sleep can increase irritability, anxiety, and also challenges with depression as well. So I think of sleep as there's the physiology of sleep and the psychology of sleep. So the physiology, one of the things I do when I assess folks is I look for, are there any physiological things that need to be treated? Is someone snoring? Perhaps they might have sleep apnea, because if they're not getting enough oxygen, that can affect well-being. Do they have restless legs? So if they're, want to be careful to make sure. One of our sleep experts would say that if you've had insomnia for longer than 3 months, even if you're attributing it to anxiety or depression, there's a possibility there might be a sleep disorder that needs to be assessed there in a physiological way. So I don't know if you want to say anything about that piece, but.
Well, no, this is really interesting, though, Sharon. When you brought up this topic, I mean, this is something that I struggle with. And part of it is that I get between 4 to 5 hours of sleep on average, and I've had this since high school, and I'm trying to get more sleep, but it's always hard for me. I can get up, so this is an important subject for me.
It is hard. And I would say folks may not be aware of this, but there are people who are trained to treat sleep behaviors, and psychologists, actually. We have one in our practice who's a sleep expert. And so if you were to meet with her, she would rule out any physiological reasons as to why you're having challenges with sleep. Then she would look at your sleep behaviors, and she would have you keep a sleep log. And our expert would say that the 2 most important things to regulating sleep are to exercise daily and to go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time.
Yeah. So I usually exercise every day, almost every day. And the only thing I usually sleep between 11, but I get up at around 4 or 5 o'clock every morning. And I try to sleep at 11, but I don't, but I think, that's interesting. I didn't know that they had sleep therapists like this. That's
yes. Yes. And so just a few general sleep hygiene tips, and then we could talk all day about this. But in general, you want to make sure your room is cool enough. You want to make sure it's dark. These are sleep hygiene tips. You want to make sure you don't have the TV in the bedroom or other electronics with your computer or your phone, because your bed, you begin to associate your bed with activity, with mental activity, and it's hard to relax. No caffeine after 4. These are kind of some, yeah. Or I've also had sometimes folks will have, I've had practitioners have their folks stop all caffeine to see if that makes a difference with some of the sleep challenges they may be having.
I don't know if I want to sleep anymore.
Yeah. So those are there are other things we could go into, but I think that's probably, for now, those are some of the main things I'd want to convey about sleep.
Well, the whole idea about sleep affecting mood and that's really interesting because, although I feel great and I always feel energetic, but there was a time where, like that I would get really anxious throughout the day, and so the idea about not getting enough sleep. Now I'm finding that I used to have this like the iPhone iWatch,
Yeah.
and I would monitor my sleep, and the thing is, I'd get anxious about monitoring
I
my
was just I was going to put that as a final sort of on the other hand, do not get anxious about sleep. That is that's the tough thing to balance here. We we would also like we think about it this way, um, if you do have trouble falling asleep, you can get up, go in the other room, do something relaxing, don't turn the TV on, go back again, try counting backwards, 9, breathe in 9 and out 9, in 8 and out 8, all the way down to 1.
I love that.
Um, and that's a helpful one, or you can try middle of the night thinking, which is recognizing in the middle of the night, it doesn't really make sense to try to problem solve because your thinking is going to be very exaggerated. And so say, I'll think about this in the morning. So those are some, but ultimately, if you can't fall asleep, don't panic. You know, try to at least understand that your body's still resting and you'll be fine. You'll still get through the next day okay, but it's really important to not panic about having challenges with sleep as well. There are
That's
lots
it.
of resources out there.
I love the counting. So 9, breathe; 8, breathe; 7, and go all the way down to 10.
Yeah, breathe in 9 and out 9, and in 8 and out 8, and go all the way down to 1, and then start at 8 and all the way down to 1, and then 7 and all the way down to 1.
Yeah, that'll put me to sleep.
Mhm. Yeah, and so mindfully focus on your breathing. Yep.
Yeah. My sometimes my go-to is like, getting up and then going to get something to eat. That's terrible.
Well, actually, sometimes someone can't sleep because maybe they've eaten too much too late, or they do need a little bit of a snack. But to try to eat something, though, that is not gonna be full of sugar or something that might, wind you up, and
Like
because
another
it's
cup
more
of
of a
coffee.
right. Don't have that extra cup of coffee in the middle of the night. Yes.
Well, these are wonderful tips, and I know that this is a part of an ongoing series that you're giving us, and that is to help us with our mental health as we think about being healthy overall. And
Mm.
so again, Sharon, thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next time for another tip.
Sounds great. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Did you know that you can join Christ Church from anywhere in the world? If you're feeling connected to what we're doing, email us today at communicate@christchurchwesterly.org.